we're going to explain how to open an ink file. Ink files are a type of text file used by the ink storytelling language, commonly found in game development. There isn't a universal ink file opener like you might find for other file types. Instead, opening an ink file depends on how you intend to use it. Here's a breakdown of the common methods. 1. Using a game engine. If the ink file is part of a game project, it's most likely integrated directly into the game engine itself. You won't open it separately. The game engine will handle loading and interpreting the ink script when the game runs. Engines like Unity often have built-in support, or you might use a plugin designed for working with ink. Check your game engine's documentation for specific instructions. This will often involve importing the ink file into your project's asset folder. You won't be opening the file in the traditional sense, but the engine will process it correctly. Using Ink's compiler, Inculcate. Inculcate is a command line tool that compiles your ink script into JSON. This JSON file is then typically used by game engines or other tools. You don't directly open the ink file to read it in a text editor. Rather, you use Inculcate to process it. Find the Inculcate executable, usually downloaded separately, and navigate to the folder containing your ink file using your terminal or command prompt. Command will generally look like this: inculcate your inkfile.ink. This creates a JSON file. The specifics of how to use this JSON depend entirely on your project and game engine. Using a text editor for viewing only. While you can open an ink file in a plain text editor like Notepad, Notepad++, Sublime Text, or Atom, this is primarily for viewing the code. You won't be able to interact with the story, you'll just see the underlying ink script. This is useful for editing the text of the story itself, but you'll still need Inculcate or a game engine to run and experience the interactive narrative. Remember to save changes as ink to avoid issues with formatting and special characters. 4. Using Ink's online compiler, optional. There are online ink compilers available. These allow you to write and test ink code in your web browser without needing to install Inculcate locally. Search online for Ink Online Compiler. These services typically let you paste your ink code and compile it, often directly showing the output or providing a JSON file download. This is a good option for quick testing or if you don't want to install anything on your computer. Remember, the best method depends on your project and goal. If you're developing a game, the game engine will handle it. For editing or viewing, use a text editor. For compilation and potential JSON generation, use Inculcate or an online compiler. Always refer to your game engine's or Ink's official documentation for the most accurate and up-to-date instructions.